Happy Tuesday, everyone. It is no, it is not January anymore. It is February 6th, and this is Lori Bradley, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Louis, Missouri, and I am here today for Lunch with Lori, our weekly online class, and today we are talking about Sale A Bration. And Sale A Bration is, of course, the best time of the whole Stampin' Up! Year. If you're watching today, let me know what your favorite Sale A Bration item is. I have several, and then there's some that I look at and I think, oh, maybe not. So if you have a favorite, let me know. If I haven't showed that already on one of my videos, I'd be happy to try to complete some cards for you. Today, I'm going to use the Softly Sophisticated bundle that is actually a $100 item on the Sale A Bration flyer, and it includes both. These are my cards I'm going to make today, so I'm going to take those away so you don't get too much of a show. We're going to use the Softly Sophisticated stamp set and the embossing folder. And the embossing folder, let's see if I can show you that pattern really quick, or as our middle son used to say, pattern. It's a nice little stitched pattern that kind of reminds me of a quilt. Very versatile, can use on pretty much anything, along with anything. And then the stamp set, excuse me, the stamp set, when I first saw it, I thought, oh boy, I don't know about this one. I'm not big on these flowers, but I am here to tell you, I'm going to open this up really quick and tell you that I today am using every single stamp set in this set. And I'm pretty happy about it. So don't judge a book or a stamp by its cover or its picture. And we will get started here on our cards for today. My first card focused mainly on the stamps. I'm going to use one of my other not so favorites is Old Olive. So if you are one of my regular customers and you're watching this, you know that Old Olive has never been on my top 5 list. Maybe not even my top 15, we'll see. I'm using on Old Olive on all 3 cards today, so I am trying to branch out a little bit. So today, for the first card, we're going to start simple, and it's going to be just focusing on the stamps. We're not going to use the embossing folder for this one, and the die cut that I used for this one came from this particular, here it is, Nested Essentials, and it is, I've used 3 different dies today. I used Nested Essentials, the Perennial Postage, and also the Countryside Corners. Any of these could easily be done without a die. You could use it without any die cuts. This one you could just stamp your words first and make your words go around, or your flowers go around it. You don't always have to have special tools. I just like to use different die cuts to put my sentiments on so that it has a little bit of depth. So here we go. I have Gorgeous Grape, which grape is one of my favorite colors. And I have a white panel, a grape panel, and then our basic note card. I'm gonna go ahead and fold the note card. Note cards and envelopes. It comes a 20-pack of envelopes and note cards. And they're $8. You can make 20 cards for $8. You can stamp directly on this. And if you are a beginner, that is a great value. So that's something I always keep in my stash because it's always nice to just have a little note card. All right, so first I'm going to stamp. I really appreciate you on my Nested Essentials die cut. And again, I did that ahead of time so that you didn't have to see me die cut. We can get right to stamping. All right. I really appreciate you. We'll set that aside for a second. Then we're going to I'm going to go ahead and do the leaves first. And my leaves are going to be Old Olive. And I just want to leave a space. I want to just kind of go around the bottom edge so that I have room for my sentiment. So I'm going to do 3 different stems and leaves. You can see there's some spaces, and in just a second I'll show you how the flowers line up with that, so you always know how to line up your flowers, because I had a little bit of a struggle at the beginning. And there's no real right place to put these. And actually, let me go ahead and put my flower on so you can see what I did here. This particular flower has a large flower, a small flower, and then a little flower bud. The flower bud fits into this opening right there. And if you get that lined up, then you should be okay on your other flowers. Kind of hold it down a little bit so that the ink transfers. There's one. Normally I would stamp all of my green and then all of my purple, but this time I think it's a little better if I plan where my flowers will actually go. So I'm just going to go back and forth. You can do this whatever way is easiest for you. So my piece that I want to line up is on the left edge this time. So I'm going to turn my stamp. And then one more. Let's see. Let's go kind of this way this time. Again, there's no right or wrong. We're just putting these flowers around the outside edge. This item is one of the $100 sales items. So you have to spend $100, but you get both the embossing folder and the stamp set for free. I'm going to wipe off my flower because we are going to use him again later. All right, the chamois is a great tool to wipe off your stamps, get those clean. All right, let's go ahead and put this guy, start building our card. And if you don't have all the colors and you decide this could easily very well be just the front of your note card. It doesn't have to have layers. And if you need something really quick, you can throw that together and the recipient will still think they got a great handmade card. All right, so there's our panel. Go ahead and put that on my card front as well. It's easier to put flat things down first and then come back and add the things with dimensionals. If you put things with dimensionals on first, then you might have some trouble with your adhesive. Not trouble getting it to stick, but just it's much less cumbersome to go ahead and put your flat pieces down. Then I'm going to put this piece on dimensionals, but I'm also going to make a mess with that card that just fell over in my green ink pad because I didn't move it. That happens. All right, and I'm going to just tie. Actually, I'm going to double that. Let's do something crazy. Take my scissors, and I'm going to tie a double bow. So I'm just going to do a shoelace bow. Even those I'm not good at. I've been tying my shoes for almost 50 years and I still can't do it properly. If you're watching, do as I say, not as I do. Makes it easier. All right, there we go. And then, oh, I still pulled it out. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Third time's the charm, right? All right, here we go. I'm not gonna pull so tight. Here we go. Whew. And really, it doesn't matter. We just wanted a little bit bigger bulk for our... I still did not tie that properly. I'm going to pull the other one off of my card and pretend like I did it okay. I usually use tape on the back side, Scotch tape, to adhere my bows. Maybe I shouldn't have doubled this. Maybe that's the problem. When I had a single piece of twine, I did great. All right, last chance. I hope all of you who are watching are at home laughing at me, because obviously I deserve it. And it's laughing at me, actually, probably with me also. All right, we're calling it done. Yes, we are. We're just gonna, so for this one, since I don't have Scotch tape handy, I'm just gonna put stamp and seal on the back. With my sentiment piece, and lay this on there, and it should hold it. I just prefer to have the Scotch tape because it's a little more sturdy, but that should hold it. All the pieces are down. I have those approximately where I want it. Then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back as well. I am doing my best to use all of my small, almost leftover packages of dimensionals. I threw away one package this morning, and I think before we're done today, I'll be done with this one. Yay. Always makes me feel good to throw away empty packages of dimensionals, empty wrappers from the envelopes. When I've used a whole package of envelopes, it makes me feel good to throw away the plastic wrapper around the outside of the cardstock. So that way I just feel like I have accomplished something. All right, so I have my loops. I should have just wadded it up and done it that way. And we could stop there. We have our nice twine, but I'm going to add some of the purple shimmer gems. I'll go with the light ones on this one. Take your pick tool, and you can pick those up. Just gonna put a couple of those just to add a little shine to our card. And there you have it. We have a cute little thank you card, or just an appreciate you card. There's people who do things all the time, and you just want to tell them you appreciate them. I have somebody I have in mind for this card today. All right, so there's card number one, focusing on just the stamps. My second card, I'm also going to use the stamps, but I'm going to make the embossing folder a little bit more of a star in the show. It's so pretty, we're gonna use it. We're gonna switch colors, and we're gonna use a Sweet Sorbet card base. And I'm gonna be so sad since Sweet Sorbet is one of the 2022 to 24 in colors, and it is one of my favorite colors. I love all of the current in colors that are gonna go away this year. So when those go away at the end of the catalog, I'm gonna be super sad. Which does remind me, here's a little tip for you. If you love any of those colors like I do, the Sweet Sorbet, the Parakeet Party, let's see if I can name all of them, Orchid Oasis, Starry Sky, and Tahitian Tide, those are the bright, fun ones. If those are your favorites, I highly recommend going ahead and ordering anything that you love that has those colors in them. And that could be the in-color twine, it could be the gems, it could be the ribbons, it could be the ink pads, the cardstocks, and especially the ink refills, so that you can keep your ink pads. Because once the retirement list is released and those are going away, they disappear. And we've known for 2 years that those are going to go away, and people still wait till the very last minute to buy those. So if you love those colors, please go ahead. Sale Bration is a great time to stock up on those kind of things, but go ahead and take care of that now so that you're not sad that you didn't get the ink refills or the cardstock or any other, little piece that you like. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I have the Sweet Sorbet ribbon that is part of the Be Mine suite. It is so cute, and actually this ribbon is really soft. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tie a bow around my base. I'm gonna leave it attached to my ribbon rolls until I get it right, or at least get it where I'm semi-happy with it, because right might not be the right word. All right, so I've got this one, and we're using the white panel that has already been embossed with the embossing folder. There we go. Go ahead and cut that. Did that first so that I'm not traumatized at the end. And you don't have to sit there and watch me forever. All right, So there's the panel. I went ahead and wrapped the ribbon around. I'm going to set that aside for just a second. And I have cut a white and a sweet sorbet, a basic white and a sweet sorbet countryside corner. And those dies are just kind of a nice, they're a little different than a rectangle. They just have the angled corners and they're very versatile as well. All right, so for this one, I'm going to use, actually I'm going to switch this one up a little bit. No, I'm not. I'm going to use your In My Thoughts. I'm going to use the Old Olive ink. And put that at the very bottom, and it just fits into, actually, all right, I have a little green dot right there, and I'm going to hope that I can cover that up with my floral stems. All right, so I'm going to put that right at the bottom. It fits perfectly in that little indention. Ta-da. Then we're going to stamp a different set of leaves. We're going to use this set of leaves, and it's going to make one flower set right onto our card. All right, so we have the leaves. Now this is a different flower that we're going to use for this one, and this one also has a set place where those flowers fit in. You should probably be considered lucky that I figured that out before I was on Facebook Live, because you would all be shaking your head. All right, so this one, this flower at the top is a small sort of half open bloom. It goes in this spot right here, which means that the big flower will fit there and the other little bloom will fit there. If you line those up, you should have everything where they need to go. Everything else will fall into place in their correct spot. Ta-da! All right, so we have our sweet sorbet flowers. I am going to close the red ink pad because it'll be bad news. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this to the sweet sorbet panel. All right, if you're watching, what is your favorite in color that will be going away? The sweet sorbet, the orchid oasis, the Tahitian tide, starry sky, or parakeet party. If you have a favorite, let me know. Let me know what that is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this one. It's pretty flat on the back, so with the ribbon, it may stick up a little too high. And I'm going to use big ones, otherwise it will take a whole lot more. So I'm going to use just the regular dimensionals for this one. I like this color. It is a nice springy color. It was one of my favorites when it first came out. I tried to do, for all three cards today, I have the flowers all in different colors. So when at the end you can tell me which color you like better. I started with Gorgeous Grape, and this one is Sweet Sorbet. All right, I'm gonna put this on the front. And the last one will be Flirty Flamingo, which is another one of my favorites. If you would like to make sure that your ribbon stays put, you could add a drop of glue, or sometimes I like to take a glue dot, and I usually don't use my fingers, but for this one I will. Just peel that glue dot off of the paper, kind of roll it up a little bit, and we're going to put it right underneath the knot of the bow, and that will keep it in place where we want it to be. Except I made it crooked. No, I didn't. We're all good. Okay. Then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this as well, since that ribbon goes underneath it. There were new Sale Bration items released on the 1st, and I need to post pictures of those. They are actually all, excuse me, catalog items. So if there's some some of the things that are in the catalog that you thought you might like, now is your chance. All right, so we have this one, which shows a little bit more of that beautiful embossing folder along with the stamps. All right, card number 3. This one actually is more of a combination of all the pieces. We're going to use the embossing folder, but it's not, let me see, can you see that? There you go. You can see the embossing folder around the edge, and then we're going to use the stamps. I'm going to show you some two-stage, it's not two-step, because how to stamp second generation. There we go. First generation and second generation to look like it's a lighter color, and then you only need 1 ink pad. So let me get my piece. Like I said on the last one, the back of this embossed piece is pretty flat. Like, it is a flat piece, so I'm gonna actually attach that to my card flat with Stampin' Seal. Put that directly on my card because there's nothing that's going to be wrapped around it. Sometimes I like to put a little extra just in case. All right. All right, so there's our old olive. Our old olive panel is ready to go, and I cut this from the perennial postage stamps or dies that goes with the perennial lavender suite. For this one, we're going to again use old olive for our stems. Let's do that first. And this one doesn't matter if you'd like to stamp your flowers as you go. That's totally fine. And we're going back to the first, or that same flower, sorry. And I'm just going to start on the left, and I'm going to do 1, and then I'm going to stamp again. I'm going to change the direction a little bit just so it's not all the same. And I'm just going to go across my I forgot to stamp off. So we'll go here, and then I'll stamp off with this one. All right, so we have some weeds at the bottom. The one thing I should probably do before I go any farther is to stamp the words at the top, because I'd hate to get all the way done and then realize my words were crooked. Luckily with the photopolymer stamps, you can see where you're stamping, so that helps. All right, so we have hello there. So we have a hello, a you're in my thoughts, and a thank you type thing. Now I'm gonna put my old olive ink pad away. And then I'm gonna use Flirty Flamingo for these flowers. And like we talked about on the last one, there is the top bud fits into this spot. The big flower goes here, and then the other small bud goes there. Place those in the right spot, and the rest of your flowers will be good to go. 1. Then I don't want to re-ink. I'm going to do the second generation for the pink as well. I have to line that up. Okay, so now we have 2. Now let's do our third. For me to look right on down on this, I would have to be right on top of my camera. Right, moving across. So hopefully I have these in the right spot. Just adds a little dimension. It looks like those are a little farther back. Do any of you who are watching today's show, do you have this stamp set? Did you notice it in the catalog, or did you think, blah, I don't really like this one? My friend Sarah was like, blah, I don't really like this one. But the more I showed her, she was like, oh, it is cute. All right. Now, one thing that I've noticed is that these little indentions on the postage die are perfect. They're the perfect size for baker's twine. And in the 3-color pack of baker's twine, there's Balmy Blue, Lemon Lolly, and Flirty Flamingo. So we are going to wrap around the baker's twine, and these little indentions will hold it perfectly. I'm actually going to wrap it around twice because one little layer is a little bit wimpy, and we don't want wimpy twine on our card. Now, to make it easier, this is what I found when I did my sample, because I obviously didn't do that well. I tucked this one under and tied it as a knot before the bow, because otherwise it gets all out of whack. So if they're twisted together just a little bit, then they stayed better. And I'm going to do the same thing with the bow on this one that I did on the other one. I'm going to tuck a little glue dot right underneath the bow just to hold it in place. All right, look at that. Semi-okay on the first try. We're going to take it. We have our bow. It's okay that it hangs off a little bit because it's not full size on our panel. And again, I'm going to rebel against the glue dots, my usual way to do it. I'm just going to peel that off. Roll it just a little bit so it's not full size. And then just attach it right to the bottom of that knot. So our bow will stay in place. And you can put your bow anywhere along there that you so desire, but I just put mine on the side, kind of off on the other end from the hello there, just to kind of balance things a little bit. So let's attach that. I am going to use dimensionals for this one because, again, the bow, I'm going to use the small ones down here so I have plenty of room for those. One package of dimensionals down. And I picked up big ones, so this one's going to have a big one. All right, we have our dimensionals on there. And this one, the embossing folder goes sideways. So depending on how you would put your card together, either portrait or landscape will determine how your pattern on your embossing folder is. And then I thought, oh, you know what? This needs just a little bit of something. And what goes well with flowers? Butterflies. So I pulled out my brushed brass butterflies. And on my sample, I did one. But I think for this one, I'm just going to add a couple. These little guys upside down. There we go. And I'm just going to put some butterflies around our flowers because they are pretty. And everybody, almost everyone, loves butterflies. And there you have it. We have a nice little cheery hello card. We have a thinking of you card. And we have, oh, my note card that got knocked over into the green ink. There it is. And we have our I really appreciate you. For today's class, it is free to watch, of course, and if you would like to place an order on my website, I will post the hostess code for that. And if you place a $35 order, I will send you all of these card kits. If you place a $50 order, I will send you an embellishment, and I will actually send you a package of the brushed brass butterflies that you can use on all 3 of your cards. It would be perfect on all 3. And if you spend $100, then you can get the stamp set and embossing folder for free as well. And Stampin' Up! Will take care of that on your order. You'll have to choose it, but they will take care of that for you. I did want to show you really quick. I did receive one of the best things about being a demonstrator is doing card swaps. And I do love to do card swaps. And that's when I make, I'll say 20 cards, and I send them and then I get 20 different cards back. So this was one of the cards. And then I took it out of plastic. I hope you don't get a glare from these plastic. This one used a different designer series paper with it. It used a different die and ribbon. Third one is just a simple, also a postage stamp, just a little different. I didn't make any of these. I just, I'm showing you the ones I received. And then this one, this is the dogwood stamp, which is also a Sale Bration item, but it's another $100 item. But this one uses the embossing folder and the words from the stamp set. So just some more ideas of things to do with these cards or with the stamp set. Again, thank you for joining me today. I'll be back next Tuesday. If you have a Sale Bration item that you would like to see next week, let me know. I haven't made my choice for next week, so if there's something you'd like to see that you can't figure out what to do with, let me know. It is almost sign-up deadline for my card club for February. And for February, my ladies have requested the Easter Lilies bundle, which is also going to be a little struggle for me. So I hope that based on this, I can do those as well. So I look forward to seeing you all next week. Let me know if you have any questions. I am happy to help, and I will talk to you all next week. Thanks for joining me.